Today I'm going to recreate the Clone Wars in LEGO, including over 100 minifigures, adding vehicles, weapons, giant bases and attacking at the end, all in order to recreate the best animated TV show in one whole video. So let's get into it. So the first step is for me to build a battlefield for them to fight on. Now it's all done, the first thing that we need to do is add some soldiers. So I first added some clone troops and battle droids so they could fight against each other. And now that they're all ready, you can see how basic this battle is, which is not what the Clone Wars is. So let's increase our clone troopers' numbers. So now we've built up our clone trooper army, we need to bring in some support for the droids. And now with both armies strong in numbers, we needed to start adding the artillery. So I first started adding some droid carriers to help the droids out more, as well as some speeders, as the droids were going to need a lot of firepower if they wanted to win this fight. As I'm sure you all know that the clones are a lot more superior to droids. But next up I built a base for the clones to guard and store some vehicles, with it also including a sliding door and some guards. But now all we needed was just to add some vehicles for the clones. So first up I added a speeder, which you were able to put a clone trooper inside and then have them go out and survey the surrounding area.
Roger, roger. Uh-oh.
So with those droids all gone, let's get back to building. So I then added in a Republic fighter tank, which was very good because it had a clone commander that could stand inside of it and shoot missiles, as well as adding a clone AT-AT. And then I added a custom rogue squadron of clone troopers to lead the clone army into battle. And I mean, these guys are no joke. They have suffered many wars and had seen many of their brothers die in front of them. So going against this droid army was going to be like eating a piece of cake for them. Droids had someone else to lead them, Count Dooku, an incredible Sith that could take on any clone trooper. So the clones had to get some more backup. Now with this gunship, the clones will be able to take on anything that comes their way, as this vehicle has heavy weaponry that can shoot tons of missiles at the enemies, as well as it can also hold tons of troops that can be stored and ready to attack whenever they are needed. But the droids would have something to say about this. They deployed their AAT. This armored tank could take on anything and shoot insane missiles to destroy almost anything in its sight. And now that all the sides were ready, I think it was time for the Clone Wars to begin. With there being 100 droids versus 100 clone troopers, this was going to be a big war. So both sides readied their tanks and got ready to shoot. So the war then commenced, and the only thing I had to find to break the minifigures was this massive burger that's been half destroyed. But they were all shooting at each other, getting all the figures destroyed, getting the bases destroyed. It was absolute chaos. But Count Dooku was not enjoying this, so the clones had to try and attack and defend him off, but the Count Dooku just came out fighting, and we would have to see what would happen next. As the rocket was shot, a big damage was taken to their tank, and a speeder went out of control, crashing into tons of droids. But the tank had some more power in it, so it took out some more clone troopers while it could, and see to try and even the amount of numbers taken out. And as the battle came to the end, it looks like the clones were winning, but Count Dooku wasn't going to have any of this. With all his soldiers lost from the dreaded burger, this was time for Count Dooku to try and attack back. So he went for their greatest force and the leaders. So now with Count Dooku making them all surrender, the clones were in shambles, and Count Dooku had conquered the Clone Wars. And with him taking out all the clone troopers, they all had to submit to him, and he was the king of the Clone Wars.